Alrighty, guys, welcome to the Fantasy Football House. I'm pumped. I hope you guys are pumped too. We had some football on last night. How are we feeling, guys? Football's back.
Hey, I got a draft in a week, man. I'm excited as all business.
Absolutely. Great day for America. Great day for hot dogs. Awesome.
Speaking of that draft, it is next week, Saturday, our draft for our league, and I'm super nervous, guys.
There's not enough information, man. We need more information.
Yeah, we already jam-pack it already.
Absolutely. There's not enough time.
And if you're asking why we're drafting this early, it's because one of our league mates, for some reason, every year has to celebrate his wife's birthday. I just don't get it.
I don't think the birth date's going to change. That's the problem.
Honey, we've been together for 10 years. Why don't we just do it on a different day? That's all he has to say.
Yeah, the preference, guys, is Labor Day weekend, that first weekend before the season gets going on that Thursday night before the Saturday or Sunday before that Thursday night game. And, yeah, Jose, if you're listening, if Jose's wife is listening.
Get over yourself.
Let's choose a different day. We can leave.
Change your birthday.
We can go down to the courthouse. We can get this done. Change that birthday.
We could celebrate right now. Just light some candles.
Hey.
Happy birthday to you.
That was pretty good there, guys. Right on cue. Well, I want to open up to the audience just a little bit, guys, and let them kind of behind the curtain of, a little bit about ourselves. Like, what do we do other than fantasy football? We can't. We try to be fantasy football 24/7, but, our wives and other stuff make us do other things, and, we enjoy doing other things. Craig, what's some of your hobbies outside of fantasy?
Not much at all. My wife is actually upset that she introduced me to fantasy football years ago because now all we talk about is fantasy football or fishing. That would be my second hobby. And I've got 3 kids, so... For example, this weekend, I'm going to take the kids to the beach. We're going to fish. We're going to listen to some fantasy football. My wife plays. She's actually in our league, so it's always nice. But, she still wishes she didn't introduce me to it. That's how much we talk about it.
Especially after you beat her in the playoffs last year. That was pretty brutal.
She's got to find a better tight end than Evan Ingram, man. It's blame Evan Ingram, honey.
Dustin, what about you? What do you do outside of fantasy?
Other than, fantasy takes up a good chunk of the time, good part of the year.
Yeah.
I love college football, so that's another part of my chunk. And then, just working and spending time with the family. And, I think that's the kind of cool part about fantasy is you get to meet a lot of guys that are similar, just spend time with the family. And
hey, Nice Guy Gaming. That's obviously you're doing something
guys,
with
throw
that.
a little promotion out for that for
absolutely.
Dustin.
I do
some live
stream
streaming
on Twitch, and when I do get a minute or two. But yeah.
I played my daughter's Switch, the Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8.
I kick her. I win all the time. She's 5, but I'm still going to win.
Hey, you got to teach them. Sometimes it's you just got to beat them enough until they get better.
Yeah. No, I try telling her, if you're crying, honey, stop crying and just play. Like, get serious.
Why
about
are you
it.
dropping the controller, honey?
Pick
it up.
Controller.
Yeah, you're not going to get a trophy for trying. That's not a thing.
Well, guys, I'm pretty much fantasy football like full throttle once we get past the actual NFL draft. I start getting into it pretty heavy. But I'm just huge into sports. I like to try to dive into any sports. I watch anything from football, of course, basketball, soccer. I try to watch a little bit of everything, even the baseball game. I was checking out that baseball game. They played last night, guys, at the Field of Dreams from the movie, the corn maze field.
Really?
Oh, man. Yeah, they recreated it, and the White Sox played the Yankees. Awesome game. Walk-off home run.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, great movie. Kevin Costner was even there checking it out.
You're kidding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Big Kevin Costner fan?
Waterworld is one of the worst movies of all time, but
They actually even do I think it's Universal Studios, does a skit from that movie. So, they must think, the peeps must think it's great.
No,
The web feed and everything, man.
No, gills behind the ear. It was a horrible, absolutely horrible movie. But No, Kevin Costner is a good actor. He's got a lot of good movies out there. Field of Dreams, though, specifically, man, that was a really good movie.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's an all-time classic.
Top 10. Top 10 sports movies.
Yeah, top 10 sports movies.
Speaking of baseball, have you heard about the Savannah Bananas?
What is the Savannah Bananas?
So the
AAA?
AAA, they're doing things different. Whether it's they play 3 innings, the owner believes that baseball is just too long of a game, so they play 3 innings. They get the crowd involved. They have like a Simba night where you go with the baby and hold them up, and you have to like pre-book
Sounds
it.
like some cult stuff.
But
the guy
he's
bought a baseball team and then tried to change all the rules of baseball.
That's exactly it.
Well, guys, of course, I mean, we're not a baseball podcast here or a baseball YouTube channel, but hey, we just like to show y'all we got some interest outside of fantasy football, but
Sure,
our number one drive is making sure to get y'all up to speed for the season and drafting better, ready for this upcoming draft.
Trying to help with some of the things we've learned over the years. If you're new to fantasy football, if you're maybe 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, we got some championships here at this table, guys, and we want to bring that knowledge to y'all.
Yeah, 10. I think 10 plus now for most of us, right?
Yeah, 10 plus years, yeah. Today's episode, guys, we actually have some mailbox questions coming in coming in from the peeps out there. So that's good to see. We're going to roll in those. And then, of course, like we said last episode, we got some ADP Battle Royale. It's going to be myself versus Dustin, and Craig is the impartial judge.
Judge Dredd.
Okay. Judge Dredd over here is going to be fair as possible, right down the middle, right, Craig?
Obviously.
Absolutely.
Yes. That's what I like to hear. And then we're going to talk a little bit about drafting strategy, of course. We're going to keep touching on that every episode up until, the actual drafts end, the season begins. And then we're going to give y'all a little peek at what we're going to do for our subscriber giveaway when we get to our 50th subscriber on YouTube.
There you go.
So tune in for that at the end of the episode. Craig, you want to kick us off with a little sponsor of Hooked Up Guide Service real quick before we jump into topic 1?
Yeah, Hooked Up Guide Service. Guys, if you're in South Texas, specifically Corpus Christi, Aransas Pass area, Hooked Up Guide Service. He's going to put you in the bays, put you on the red drum, speckled trout. Captain Pat Tabor, he's a fun guy. He's got a great personality. You're out there for 8 hours on the water. He's going to entertain you if you're not catching the fish every single minute. But if you go to his website, you're going to see all the photos. This is what he specializes in. He's got this beautiful 26, maybe even 28-foot boat. It's gorgeous, very comfortable. He provides everything, rod and reels, tackle, all of it. And like I said, a Hooked Up Guide Service. Look him up on Facebook or go to his website.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, you can see it here in the background. Hooked Up Guide Services. Man, these guys are pulling in some monster fishes. The quantity on some of these pictures, amazing. And these action shots, man. Hey,
absolutely.
I want to be that guy. Well, guys, let's transition here into topic 1. We got some mailbox questions here. First one coming in from Jose from Dallas, Texas. What up, Dallas? Representing Texas. He says, love the show. Is DeAndre Swift a trap or a potential league winner? Craig, we'll kick it over to you first, and then to Dustin to get a little feedback on that question from Jose.
Swift is a very talented back. Very talented. That said, I'm going to lean towards trap. I don't want any part of a Lions offense. Dan Campbell, they just switched the head coach. The philosophy, there's Jared Goff at quarterback. His ADP is probably in the 4th, 5th round, which isn't horrible, but I've seen him go as high as the 3rd round. Again, very talented, but it's going to be low volume, So I don't know if health-wise he's going to see an opportunity for 300 touches. And I know that there's one guy lurking in the shadows, and we've seen him for a few years up in Green Bay, Jamal Williams, and that scares me. I'm actually planning on drafting Jamal Williams in the later rounds, because I do think he's going to be involved specifically in ADP. PPR. So PPR format, Jamal Williams is going to be serviceable, especially zero running back. But yes, to answer the question, I'm going to go with trap. Definitely a trap.
Well, we'll throw it over here to Dustin, and while Dustin's looking that up, can you give me the current ADP, Craig, on Mr. Devonte Smith right now?
Dustin, what you think about Swift?
You know, I hate to disagree with you, but I love him. You mentioned the talent. The Lions went and in the first round selected Sewell. They want to be able to protect the quarterback, want to be able to protect the running back. With Jared Goff's first year being there, I think they're going to run the ball a little bit. Now, do I think that it's Jamal Williams? I mean, I think there's that fine line. If Swift doesn't perform, it's going to be the Williams show. But I think he is going to have a chance. I think with his talent, he should be able to get there. It's going to be his position to lose is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely. And DeAndre Swift, guys, I said Devonte Smith earlier. I do apologize. Craig, what is he at ADP right now?
33. He's going 33. Mid to beginning of the fourth round.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I'll kick it here with an interesting stat that I saw the other day, and it's been sticking in my head the last couple of days. There's only been one running back in the last 7 years, I believe, that's been taken in the third round or later that has finished as a top 10 running back. That was Jonathan Taylor last year. Right now, like you just said, Swift is going past the third round. So, guys, I mean, the history is the history. I mean, and it's a big gamble. So I would say trap for myself here. There's with Jonathan Williams cutting into his PPR value that Swift could have.
Jamal.
I mean, it's just, yeah, Jamal Williams. Sorry.
You're good.
Guys, I'm all over the place today.
There's a lot of names.
Too many Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Too many Red Bulls, yeah. Next question from our listener here. It's coming from Wyatt from Tucson, Arizona. Probably pretty hot there. It's pretty hot in Texas right now. I mean, that right there, I mean, that's like 110.
Say it's a dry heat, which we're a little more humid than dry.
Arizona's bad because it's concrete everywhere. The houses are made of concrete, the streets are made of concrete, and it just radiates
like
off
a concrete
everything.
city?
Yeah, it's concrete jungle. It's
well,
crazy.
welcome, Wyatt from concrete Arizona.
Like a jungle, like Guns N' Roses. Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah, exactly.
Concrete everywhere. Hey, yeah, no, you don't see very much grass there. That is for sure. All these homes. Back to the question here real quick. Will both
Grass doesn't grow.
Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen ball out again in 2021? Both top 10 wide receivers, he asked. Dustin, we'll start off with you first.
Honestly, I mean, the Vikings have been letting the ball go. I think with Cook in the background, they got a solid running back. They got a solid running game. Usually when you see that, you have a lot of passing yards because it's a balanced offense. Do I think both of them? Yeah. I think both of them are going to be probably top 15 this year.
Adam Thielen is 33 years old this year, guys. I don't know if that plays into this at all. There's eventually going to be that dip. I know he started later in the NFL. He came in, I think when he was 28.
We do keep saying that about Tom Brady, though.
Yes, that's a very good counter there, Dustin. I would say I like Justin Jefferson to still finish up in the top 10 this year. Not Thielen. Thielen, I think, still top 20 for him at the position. Yep. Craig, any other you'd like to elaborate on that? Or?
Yeah, no, I agree. My fourth wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, I like him a lot. Way too talented as a rookie last year. Opportunities, and he basically took the number one job away from Thielen. However, Thielen's got those touchdowns, and that's
he does have that rapport there, and with
something.
Cousins.
You don't lose that. You know, that's if you look at Thielen in the red zone. I mean, the dude he's a bigger bodied receiver. He knows how to box out, separate. He's pretty sharper out runner. He's a professional, and I think Kirk Cousins and Thielen, they're going to have that rapport, like you said. So his current ADP, personally, I'll take Jefferson in the second round, and if Thielen's sitting there in the fourth, I'd love to have him on the team too, man. If Thielen is your wide receiver too, you're doing just fine. So
Absolutely.
that's where I wanted to just step in here at the end on that topic. I just don't want Thielen as my number one.
No.
Like, there's no way possible. Like, I just think that where he's going right now, currently, I can't take him. Now, 2 rounds later, I feel a lot more comfortable. So hopefully, slot in for a wide receiver too for me, like Craig was saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the longer he goes, the more value. We've talked about value before.
52, Thielen. 52 if he's going 6th round.
Yeah, it's just too very little production from Kirk Cousins to depend on, like, him jumping up higher in production, and they're still feeding Dalvin all his touches, and then what Jefferson's going to be getting, I don't see it. I mean, Thielen has to get the touchdowns.
Cousins is gonna, and we're talking about it just so the audience knows that. Well, we're debating. How many yards is Cousins going to throw for? Over 3,500?
Yeah.
Close to 4,000?
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
I could do that if they put me in the NFL right now. I
Exactly.
mean, it's
How
a
many
passing
touchdowns
league.
is he going to throw?
I think he had a career high last year of 35, 33,
Ish.
somewhere in that
If
ish.
I had to guess, I'd say the same.
25
Much higher.
this year?
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely going to go for 25 plus.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. How many weapons catching the ball?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you think Irv Smith is hyped up this year too, and he could be a big, like, with no Rudolph there's another mouth to possibly feed or take away targets and
Right.
receptions.
So Jefferson's going to get his. Thielen should get some, and maybe Irv Smith. I mean, I think there's enough. If you can almost support the tight end, then you should be able to support the second receiver. Is my thought process.
Yeah, a lot of the times Thielen's touchdowns come from him making people miss. So
14 touchdowns.
They're
I think
long touchdowns.
Thielen had 14 touchdowns. So let's just say he regresses by 6. I mean, he could have 8 touchdowns and still be a 1,000-yard receiver. So as long as he's not your wide receiver 1.
Right.
And we're talking about the 6th round here just because of the drafting purposes, 6th round. So quarterback that you were looking at, gone. Tight end you were looking at, gone. Well, yeah,
You're like, I'm hooked on a Thielen.
Yeah, give me a productive wide receiver in the 6th round, baby. That's winning right there.
Absolutely.
Well, Wyatt, we'll hope that answered your question. And we also want to throw a little advice at you out there in concrete Arizona. Get a patch of grass, Be different, stand out.
A mister helps. Mister. Yeah.
Solar panels.
Solar.
I picture a lot of sun. Energy bills are expensive.
Last question coming in here from Carlos from I'm reading Wyatt again here. Carlos from Orlando, Florida. With the wide receiver upgrades the Dolphins made this offseason, how high is Tua's ceiling? Craig, you want to start us off with that little answer about Tua Tagovailoa and where he's going to finish this year?
You just love saying that.
I just
He's the only one that can say it.
Once you get it down, you got to say it.
Yeah.
If Tua finishes inside the top 15, I will shave my dog and teach her to walk backwards.
Why does your dog got to get punished?
Yeah, I was.
You should have to shave your own head.
Okay, I'll shave
Or the
my
beard.
head.
The
I'll
beard.
shave my beard because he's not going and he's not going to finish top 15. No, Tua, you can't be excited about any of the wide receivers over there. If I had to pick one, it would be Devonte Parker. Will Fuller's already been banged up in training camp, so I just don't think the volume is going to be there. PPR, maybe Waddle. Any one of these guys could be dropped in the 3rd week and then used, for a few weeks throughout the season off the wire. But as far as Tua, nah, I'd rather try to win that week.
Dustin, I think hopefully you might have a little bit more from your college watching of what you think of Mr. Tua. Maybe we need to remind Craig of what this dude did in college, and he was a beast. Everybody was tanking for Tua.
So I mean, he was a beast. However, with the mobile quarterbacks, usually you see them go into a better system than the Dolphins. So that's what I'm worried about him on. And basically, to answer the question, his ceiling is basically how high he is going to take it. We seen it in college. There were games that he personally won. He was down, he went out, he put it on his legs, and he got the touchdowns. So it is going to be his ceiling. Whether he can stay healthy, he's going to take a lot of hits. So whether he can stay healthy, he is a smaller quarterback. They were worried about that, and that's my biggest worry is just the system he got put into.
I am 100% all in on Tua. I am actually contemplating taking Tua a lot of times in my last pick in drafts, guys, because Tua, I think we're going to see the Tua from college and not the Tua from last year, who was still recovering.
Run a lot last year, right?
Well, hey, if you had to have hip surgery, I don't think you'd want to run either. He's feeling a lot better from all the reports coming out of camp, and I think this guy's ready to explode on the scene. Definitely finish in the top 15. And Craig, I'll shave. I don't have much of a beard, but I'll shave my head versus your head.
Someone's getting their head
top
shaved.
15. We're doing it, and we'll do it live too. We can show the peeps. I'm not very good at clippers, so I hope you don't lose.
Are we hedging bets or are we
hedging bets?
Heading bets?
Hey,
I actually have a pair of head shavers.
Hey, there we go. See, hey, Dustin's ready. Well, guys, it's that time. We're going to jump into topic 2. It's ADP Battle Royale time. Craig, as being the judge here, Dustin and I will get ready to go against one another.
Order in the court.
You want to explain to the fans real quick how this goes down, how it all works?
Yeah, no, we're gonna select. Josh and Dustin will each select a player within about a round of one another, and then present an argument to see what the judge rules on who the winner is. So we've already selected the players.
Well, we selected round 6 at the end of last episode, so we knew it was going to be round 6. And then, yes, Dustin and myself have now looked at the round 6 ADP, and we have chosen a player each. Dustin, you want to kick it off first? Or would you like me to do the honors?
I think I'll kick it off. This one's going to be hard to beat, and I am definitely going to go with Chase Claypool.
Good player.
Claypool being
Talented.
amazingly talented. Right now he is going 73rd, and we've seen flashes in it on the Hall of Fame game. Him making those big plays, big body at 6'4".
Big kid.
Big kid. Last year he had 62 receptions, 873 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That's an average of 14 yards per touch. I just don't see with Big Ben there. I think it's going to be he's going to be a big target, and emphasis on big. So
they got a lot of mouths to feed there.
They do.
There are.
But he's
and they brought Najee in to run the ball.
They did. The one thing that has always stuck with me from the night he got drafted was there was one player that he was compared to, and that's Megatron. The only person.
Whoa. The guy that just won the Hall of Fame last weekend.
The only person that has been compared to Megatron. You can't beat that.
You're coming in here, Dustin, for the first time like a brand new singer, and you're saying you're Michael Jackson. No, it takes time. Claypool, yes, he's talented. Yes, he's talented, but my argument against that is just there's so many mouths to feed there. We're looking at Juju. We're looking at Devonte. I don't know why I keep saying Devonte all day. We're looking at Johnson, and now Claypool, and then now Harris too. And we're relying on Big Ben's arm. He not only had surgery on that shoulder a year before, And you saw, like, it just all fell apart that second half of the season. I do love Claypool, but I don't love him right now at the spot he's going at. I'd rather have him a little bit later. But
he's tied for 10th in touchdowns last year as a rookie. Just say.
Well, I'm going to take a gentleman here to go against your argument here that's a little bit later in the draft. It's still in that same round, but right now he's going 82nd. And I've been saying his name all day when messing up other names because he's just been on my mind because this dude is a straight boss. His name is Devonte Smith. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I know you did because he plays for the Eagles, Dustin. It's not going to matter. This dude is going to be the best wide receiver the Eagles have seen in years since Deshaun Jackson was there at his prime. I mean, I'm thinking this guy is going to take the roof off the building there. You were going with the tall wide receiver, Dustin, and using that argument for Claypool.
You're going with the route runner.
I'm going with the route runner, the small guy who was the first wide receiver in a very, very long time to win the Heisman Trophy. And it's very, very hard for another position other than running back or quarterback to win that Heisman Trophy.
Who was the last wide receiver to win the Heisman?
Wasn't even a real wide receiver.
Yeah.
It was Desmond Howard.
Oh, he didn't play. He didn't play wide receiver.
He was more for his kick return, punt returning. But I mean, dude was amazing, sick athlete.
Absolutely.
But
yeah,
a pure just wide receiver, and Smith is just killing it. Philadelphia last year got very little production from their receivers, of course, right?
Right.
No Eagles wide receiver crossed the 80 target threshold last year, and Travis Fulgham led the team with just 539 yards. That's bad.
That's really bad.
While the situation might not sound that great, for Smith going into it, Smith is likely to be the team's number one. Can everybody agree with that? Smith should be walking in as the number one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Should.
Well. Let me throw this at you then. Did you know Jalen Hurts last year, average depth of target was second highest in the league? It was a minimum of 100 throws you had to throw as a quarterback, but his average depth of target was second in the league. Now, you're looking at a guy that's a game changer in Smith who can open up the offense, and he's going to get open. I mean, we're looking at a guy even better than Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson was just running go routes his first couple of years. This guy is a route running extraordinaire in Smith. Hurts has nobody else to throw the ball to. He has Dallas Goedert and the blonde kid that came into camp,
Zach Ertz.
Who might still get traded.
I had that hair in 2000. I had that same hair in 2000.
You and Eminem, right? So they're going to be battling out for the tight end targets there. But Smith, he's going to raise up that whole offense. He's going to make Rager a better player. He's going to make Fulgham a better player. Like, they're all going to rise up to this guy because he's going to put him out there, and he's going to demand that everybody rises up to that level. Last thing I'll end with is the Eagles right now have the easiest schedule for the entire season. That's my mic drop. Craig, Judge, or no, Justin, throw a little rebuttal at me.
So, I mean, I'm definitely hoping you're right. It would be nice to actually be able to count on a Eagles running or wide receiver. But, we've seen it in the past. Nelson Aguilar, he pretty much died there. I'm hoping you're right, but I just
that man did not. He came back, and now he's got a huge contract with the Patriots this offseason. But I don't know if he's quite back yet.
To throw to him.
I think the verdict is in. So Roethlisberger, however, he did support. You weren't excited every single week that you played any of those three wide receivers, but he did support three receivers last year, so I think he's going to do a little bit better with them this year. However, the Eagles' offense, even in the 6 or 7 games Hurts played last year, Smith is going to be the number one. He should be. guys, I think Smith was almost a full round later than Claypool, so I'm kind of intrigued by that.
Absolutely.
You could take them both.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could actually.
Two high upside
Not
guys.
a bad idea.
I mean, 7th and 8th, come back around for Smith.
Yeah, right.
Or if you're on the Smith train, take Smith first.
Yeah, get yourself a league winner.
Well, Goddard, Ertz, Rager, Fulgham. I mean, I don't know if Ward's still there, but yeah, I
think he is.
Smith's going to be the guy. However, when I look at Chase Claypool having rushing attempts near the goal line, which I think he had 1 or 2 touchdowns in the same game, but the physical, I mean, the kid's a freak. I mean, they were manufacturing touches for him for a little while there, aside from just, I guess as the season went on, he was more of a receiver. But
are you talking about Smith in college or?
Claypool had 9 receiving touchdowns as a rookie because his 6'4" frame and Roethlisberger being 6'6", like that's what I look for. That's what I want.
Absolutely.
People say touchdowns are hard to predict. Well, I'm going to let you in a little secret. Height is the best way to predict touchdowns. Calvin Ridley is a stud. I get that. And Devonte Smith could be a stud. But if I had to choose between the two, give me the 6'4" red zone target. I'm going to take Claypool in this one. Dustin, you are the winner.
I would like to go ahead and put a motion into the judge for a mistrial. Claypool did not show up at all the second half of the season. So we can't even use any of those stats y'all were using. It should be thrown out as evidence.
So he didn't show up the second half of the season and still finished with 9 touchdowns.
Half of those were end rounds. They shouldn't even count. On to the next one. Craig, I guess next episode, we're going to run it back again. ADP battle. And I guess then it's going to be.
It's me and you head to head.
It's me and you.
Oh, all right. It's a W right there.
Yeah.
I'm 1-0.
So we've done round 5. We've done round 6. Are we doing round 7?
No. I think we should,
Spice it up.
We'll spice it up. We'll let y'all know at the end of the episode on the way out.
Okay. Absolutely.
We'll think about it. Alrighty, guys. For our third topic here, we're going to jump into we are in draft season. It's going. People start drafting already, So we want to get give you our opinion of what's been happening out there. Like, who have we been seeing rising, falling? Who do we think should be a riser or a faller? I guess, Craig, we'll throw it to you first. What are you thinking as far as some of the guys that have been rising and falling lately?
Last episode, if we had done mock draft and I started going back over the results and I was thinking to myself, I made a couple mistakes. And Josh, your team looked better when I went back and checked it out. It definitely looked – those first 5 picks were very solid. I remember thinking last year that I did really well in the first 4 rounds, but not so well after that. Ronald Jones. I was all over Ronald Jones. I remember I was drafting the night that Fournette was released, and I'd never thought in a million years that he was going to cut in on Ronald's touches. But if there was somebody right now that I had to take outside of the first 4 rounds, and I know that I've seen him falling a little bit, he's definitely not climbing, so you're going to be able to get him in the next week or two. You probably get him after that, but I want the San Francisco run game. I want a Shanahan offense, and right now the ADP, just think about last year's Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. If you could take Chubb in the 2nd and then come back in the 5th and get Hunt, you were ecstatic. You were happy. By the end of the season, you had an RB2 and a flex. When Chubb was out, you had another RB1 in your lineup. So if we're talking about an offense that's going to run the ball 450-plus times, over 500, they're going to run the ball a lot. We've all seen that Mostert does not need 20 touches a game. He doesn't need it in that offense. So I think if you can get him 12 to 15, he's going to produce for you. And right now, he's going what your flex spot would be. Yep. I mean, if he's in the 5th round and you have a flex like Mostert in that offense, I want that.
So your riser is right now the San Francisco run game. You're up, taking him up your board a little bit.
I've got him. Well, what's his upside? I mean,
that they just want to run the ball. I mean, that's he's going to team upside.
Right, he's going to be right there. But more importantly, Trey Sermon is going 2-3 rounds behind him.
Yep.
So you lock up the San Francisco run game at a relatively inexpensive cost. And
handcuff.
That's one thing that Craig has told you guys and has said a lot, and we just want that to stick in the back of your minds while you're drafting, is that sometimes like you get that stud number 1 early running back, and then later on in the draft wrap up some of these running back situations, like here in San Francisco, where you can get the 2 and they're kind of spread out by a little bit, so you can swing the 2 and lock up that nice run game.
If I wanted to say this, that is Mostert going to be a top 10? The odds are against him. Top 15, maybe. But top 10, the odds are against him. And that's for a number of reasons. He is talented. He is very fast. One-cut runner, he takes it to the house. The reason why he's not going to be a top 10 for one of those various reasons, it could be injury. It could be a committee backfield. What if I said Mostert was getting 13 carries a game, Trey Sermon was getting 10? So as time goes on, Mostert's value is top 15. If for some reason he misses any games, Trey Sermon now becomes an RB1. He's a back-end RB1.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you're trying to get to is, or what you're trying to say is, if you combine those two together, just the San Francisco running game is a top 10 running game in the league.
Oh, guaranteed.
So you're running with a top 10 running back, but no matter what happens between the two, if one's hurt, the other one's ready to go.
Is there a possibility that you have Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt results? No, but is it close? Yes. I truly feel that is a
that
very...
That could be the situation this year. Yeah, that could be...
What if I said Sermon by week 6, 7, 8? What if Sermon is actually getting 17 carries and Mostert's getting 13? Like, they're running the ball that much because we've seen it in that Shanahan offense 2 years ago. Any running back that was out there was productive.
Yeah. Well, with anything, there is some risk. So, in that strategy that Craig's talking about of locking up the backfield, you could get in a situation where they're dead even splitting carries, and now you don't know who to play each week. Now you're betting on who might get the touchdown, pretty much.
Sure.
Dustin, you see some risers, some followers, some guys you like here lately?
Yeah, one guy I'm really interested in who is falling right now is Austin Eckler. Right now I have him...
I think Eckler...
ADP is like 15th. Last time I checked 2 weeks ago, he was in the top 10. So I think value-wise, Eckler is just one of those guys that he wants to find the end zone. It doesn't matter who's in front of him. He's going to do as much as he can to find the end zone.
If you go with Austin Eckler, and we're looking at the ADP right now, and it is trending a little down. So he has been, I guess, moving up the ADP, not down. So he has been falling more towards the second round, or later in the second round. I think a good word of advice because of what happened last year with Austin Eckler, and he got hurt. Now, he hasn't been injury prone his whole career, but he did get hurt last year for a good amount of time. The last round right now, you could get somebody like Justin Jackson, who they said right now has a stranglehold on that number 2 position. I don't think you have to worry about Kelly or anybody else, taking away too many carries, maybe some goal line work. But
having the running back in that offense is what I want.
Exactly, yeah. And you can get Jackson, of course, on the ultimate cheap. Now, if you wait, he'll be on the waiver wire week 1.
Yep.
But if you wait till something happens to Eckler and you try to go scoop him up, now you're in a bidding war if you have a fab system.
Josh, Justin, I also like to point out, too, that guys, 10 years ago, I wanted handcuffs. 10 years ago, it was all about handcuffs. It's not fun. Having to roster them. Having to roster them week in and week out when you can't make certain moves is not fun. However, if you have a running back in the first round and you know who the clear-cut handcuff is, yes, I would draft him. That's the only reason why at the turn last year and even this year, Chubb to me, because you had to pay a little more for Hunt and even more this year. But if your handcuff like Justin Jackson is in the umpteenth round, that's what I want to do. I want to protect Austin Eckler, and I think that if Eckler misses a week or two, I think Justin Jackson is going to be a serviceable RB2 or flex play. He's not going to kill you. That's what I want, as opposed to somebody like McCaffrey. There is no handcuff right now. He's
still shaking out to try to see who's going to be that backup.
If the kid's talented, if he's not, you don't really know. Derrick Henry was someone else that they gave more touches to the undrafted kid instead of the third-round kid, so you just don't know. But when you know who the handcuff is, I have no problem rostering 1 or 2 of my own handcuffs.
Yep.
That's it. Because if I've got 2 RBs in my lineup with 2 handcuffs, that's only 4 spots. You're allowed 8 running backs. I can have 4 other guys, in waiting in the wings, just see how that plays out on the season. So just remember that don't go after your opponent's handcuffs, but yes, definitely protect yours.
Yeah, like Craig said, sometimes it could be devastating. I mean, I think the first year I played with them I had Arizona's run game, Beanie Wells,
wow.
And that was 07.
Yeah, who was
it 13, 14 years ago?
All I know is whoever I started did not get the touches. Every week I would start the other one.
You're playing that game, yeah.
Beanie Wells would drop 3 touchdowns. I'd start the other guy. It was terrible. But, I mean, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But we definitely recommend, if you, like he said, if you know who the number 1 guy is, go get him.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's a top 10 running game, that's where my cutoff is. If it's a top 10 running game for that team, then I'm okay with keeping that second running back on the team, like the handcuff. Right. But other than that, I mean, guys, it's just wasting a spot. You could be picking up somebody else.
You're not talking about protecting your own running back. You're talking about just having a handcuff in general.
No. I believe more in protecting your own running back than just picking up somebody else's handcuff. I mean, I don't believe in that trade bait or anything like that. I mean,
Austin Eckler is on your team. However, the Chargers are, 13th, 15th rushing attack. You still want Justin Jackson to protect Eckler.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think so, because the value that you get him so late. I mean, it's definitely something you can hang on to for 4 or 5 weeks and then roll the dice, take the chance, and drop him for somebody else. Like if Eckler's looking good and staying healthy, I mean, if there's a guy you got a shot at that's blooming on the waiver wire.
Let's say that week for some reason you needed to drop him, you could probably pick him right back up the next week. You could roll the dice versus somebody like Alexander Madison, somebody. What's the Cowboys? What's
Tony Pollard?
Tony Pollard. If you drop Pollard, somebody's probably going to pick him up. But Justin Jackson, on the other hand, you could probably sneak him on and then get him back onto your roster.
Yeah, good point. Solid point.
If you're saying as far as handcuffs go, like when the draft rolls around, Alvin Kamara and
same guy that's been there the last couple of years. Why am I blanking on him?
Me too.
Alexander
Latavius Murray.
Thank you. God, I remember when he was a Raider. So Latavius Murray, Pollard, Madison, they're all going to be right there in the 10th, 11th, maybe 12th rounds. I don't go after those guys, but I could see why if one of them, falls to you in that 13th round. And then, because that ground game is going to be in the top 10.
Yeah, just remember those late, after the 5th round and on, 6th round and on, you're throwing a lot of darts. Like, don't go crazy. When you can get a guy super late, why are you taking them so early still? But, you're throwing more darts at the wall. A lot of these guys probably aren't going to be on your team at the end of the year.
I had Pollard taken from me in the 9th round last year. Like, I was so upset. I was like, what's he going to do with – he doesn't even have a tight end. Why does he have Pollard? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
And it didn't pay off for that guy, and it didn't,
All season, I tried to get him, and he kept asking me for a wide receiver 3, and I'm like, I'm not – Zeke's fine. Like, he's not even hurt. Why would I give you, like, oh, man, it was so frustrating.
Go ahead, Dustin.
With that said, I just Justin Jackson is going ADP at 208. So I mean,
he's undrafted.
He's undrafted. Yep.
He could be your last pick. So a handcuff, like you were saying, hang on to, see if it pans out. If not, send him to the waivers.
Okay. That's good advice, guys. And I'll throw a little bit more out here for this weekend. If you're drafting this weekend, just have that in the back of your mind. If you get Eckler, maybe Justin Jackson that last round.
For sure.
I got another last rounder that you can probably get now who wasn't going in that last round, but he's hurt again. So you're taking a risk, of course, but I'm looking at Mike Williams for the Chargers.
Sure.
He's hurt again, so he's going to fall in drafts. He was already close to the end of the drafts already. Now I'm thinking he's going that late round. Would be a good one to scoop up there at the end. And then just another quick couple ones to just throw in y'all's brains before this weekend's drafts. Saquon Barkley back at practice now. So he slid back up board some back into that first round. You're going to see guys like Zeke kind of trickle back towards the first round again. I think that's a big opportunity for somebody there to swing a guy like Zeke late. And I would, myself personally, I want to stay away from Barkley still.
Absolutely.
One other guy that I think is a riser that I actually like and would take a little bit of a gamble, and we saw what he could do last night in the preseason game, and I know it's just preseason, but Gibson for the Washington football team.
I almost said Redskins.
Yeah, me too.
I feel old.
I think he's rising up, and he's coming at the end of the beginning of the second round now when he was going late second. I think the value's there. I mean, he was in some part of the offense of the 33 snaps. He was on there 30 of the 33 snaps. He had something to do with that offense. So, I mean, I know it's a small – yes, very. And if they keep McKissick off the field and you don't see him up there as much and he's not cutting down so much in that third down back roll, I think Gibson's going to be worth the value up there.
Yeah, it's good to see Washington actually have a guy. I know the last couple years it's been running back by committee, and it's good to see them, kind of commit to one guy and have him go forward.
Oh, heck yeah. No, Gibson's explosive, man. He's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much just a wide receiver in college.
Part of fantasy football is having fun.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And when you see the guy on TV doing well for your team and he's explosive like that, you start yelling at the TV. I mean, that's why we got into it,
Absolutely.
Darren Waller got a little nicked up, has a little ankle injury. They're saying no biggie from the team. I think where he's being drafted at right now is perfect. I don't think this weekend get scared off by that at all. Hold your ground there. I mean, if he falls a little bit, that's awesome. Scoop him up.
Third, fourth round?
Fourth round. More higher in the third lately, He or Kittle goes as that second tight end.
Sure.
And then one last pitch, and I'll let Craig jump in here. My pitch for Devonte Smith. Everybody's going to be falling on him because currently he's injured, but he's going to be back week 1. You can get him later on in the drafts as a steal. And if he's a guy you can plug in either your flex spot or that rotate into the wide receiver 2 spot whenever he gets hot throughout the year, it's going to be a big hit.
You talking about Heisman Trophy winners, that's the part that Tim Brown was a Heisman Trophy winner. I cannot name anyone else at the wide receiver position.
Put some respect on his name.
Right.
I mean, I believe there's only 4, right?
All time, yeah.
I have no idea. I can't think of any. I know every time I think of one, I'm wrong. I mean, there's a lot that have made it to the, the finalists and that finished in the top 5. But if Smith is banged up a little bit right now, and I know he's going to miss maybe a few days, maybe a week of practice, but his ADP falls, and that just presents the value because he's the most talented wide receiver on the team. So just keep that in mind if you're drafting this week, following weekend. And I might even – I've got a very short list of names over here that I might just say it at the next episode and episode after that. I mean, until there's clarity. Right now, if I had to say 5 guys, if you're in a 3 wide receiver league, Darnell Mooney, Anthony Miller went to Houston. So aside from Allen Robinson, there's going to be targets there with Darnell Mooney. People have talked about Russell Gage. I'm not going to jump there just yet. It's very possible that Pitts is the number 2 behind Ridley, but I know Darnell Mooney is going to be the number 2 in Chicago.
Where can we get Mooney right now? And then we'll spit fire through some of these other names real quick because we can get to our last segment. Mooney he's not going undrafted. I mean, he's getting drafted.
Yeah, we're talking about teens.
Yeah.
Teens.
I think after the Miller news happened, I mean, he is being drafted now. Yeah, so he is being drafted barely. You want to run through the rest of these names real quick, and we can elaborate them on more
Josh,
next
you hit
episode.
Mike Williams.
Yep.
If I was throwing darts, and I'm only going to say this name because of the offense, because of Kyler Murray, but A.J. Green is someone else. He's cheap. He's very inexpensive. Guys, if you think about a 12-team league, 12-team and up. Now, a 10-team league, I might not be drafting some of these guys, but in a 12-team league, you are going to find yourself in the 13th round with pick 150. You know, I mean, you start running out of names. That's the only reason why we're naming these guys off right now. Because if you're in a 12-team league,
yep, and we want to put this on y'all's mind so that y'all are thinking about these guys late in draft or can get familiar with them right now so that you're ready for your draft this weekend or next weekend.
Don't take a defense in the 13th round. Don't take a kicker in the 13th round. Take A.J. Green.
Late picks are very, very valuable because if these guys were to pop week 1, you don't want to be the guy spending all your fab trying to get them off the waiver wire.
Paying up 10%, 20%, 30% of your fab trying to get these guys on your team. Josh already said Mike Williams. I mentioned Jamal Williams earlier because in a PPR format, I do think he's going to have value, particularly if you went 0 running back. 2 more names. 1, Van Jefferson, the Rams.
The Rams, yes.
If Higbee does not hit, you've got a wide receiver 1, a wide receiver 2, Sean McVay offense with Matt Stafford throwing the ball. You could get Van Jefferson with your last pick. Hang on to him for a week. See what happens. If he has 7 targets, comes down with 5 of them, you've got a wide receiver 3 that cost you nothing. And then another Ram because of the injury to
The running back.
Yeah.
To Cam Akers.
Cam Akers, right. So if Darrell Henderson is sitting there, it would be Xavier Jones as the RB2. If Henderson is not going
They're staying out of camp right now. Everything looks like it's all Henderson out there, but you know, you can't rely on that, especially with a guy that hasn't done it for a full season at all.
Right.
And they haven't trusted to do it for a full season. Dustin, you want to throw anything else in here before we jump to this last segment real quick?
I got 2 younger guys. I'm a big Laviska Shenault. Yeah, Shenault. Coming out of Colorado, he was explosive. He's got the almost like a one-cut wide receiver. He catches it on the
PPR formats. He could be Trevor Lawrence's friend.
Absolutely. And there's so much.
Etienne and
You got
Shenault.
a friend in me.
There's so much upside there.
There's a snake in my boots.
Josh mentioned if they pop. If Trevor Lawrence pops, it's going to be with Shenault. And I would love to have him on my team. The other guy is Michael Pittman Jr.
Hey.
Coming out of the USC, right?
Yep.
Coming out of USC, he was a big name.
Carson Wentz. What last we heard, Wentz is back September.
No, I mean, they said that there's a chance for week 1, and then they came right back the next day, and Jim Irsay kind of pushed that back and said, well, he's not coming back till he's ready. You know, we're not going to rush him out here.
Which is Carson Wentz style. But
So, I mean, I'm guessing I would be more hesitant and thinking more week 2, week 3. So, I mean, if you're I would not devalue all your guys so much on that offense because he's going to be back earlier than later.
I mean, my thing with him is his specific talent.
Sure.
When
Very similar to Chase One Glove Claypool.
right.
Chase one glove.
He's
Teddy
one of
Two
those
Gloves
guys,
is a
though.
cooler name if we're gonna go with the glove
that is
guys.
A good name.
I mean, nobody beats Michael though with his one glove. But
Absolutely.
guys, I know we ran a little long talking about that, but I think y'all really break that down, listen to it. It's going to be valuable for y'all for this weekend. The last thing we're going to get into real quick, if Dustin and Craig want to toss this one around and let the fans know about our subscriber giveaway that we're going to give when we get to number 50. What are we giving away, guys, and what do y'all have to do to win this cool prize?
I've got a closet full, notebooks full of some autographs, trading cards, 8x10s, footballs, and my wife has told me on more than one occasion I need to get some of my stuff out of there. She wants more room in the closet, though I feel like I'm already giving. Anyway, so if we wanted to say Tyron Smith, autograph, Des Bryant, it's a lot of Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan. Sean Lee, Drew Pearson. I've got several names in mind, which I think if we wanted to leave it up to the audience, if we hit 50 subscribers, and
you have to follow us on Twitter too. That's part of it.
We select you as a winner. And I remember NFL.com a few years ago when I some of the footballs that I won, they just gave you a little drop-down box, and you were able to select which player you wanted. So if you're selected as the winner, Dustin will reach out to you, and then he's going to give you a choice of a few names. You can pick whichever one you want, and we'll ship it out to you in the mail. And
I do think, for the giveaway, we're just kind of spitballing this now, but you do have to be in the U.S. Just for shipping purposes. This is something we are doing because we love fantasy football.
Yeah, we're just in the beginnings here, guys. So y'all are growing with us,
right?
And we love our fam over the seas. If we got any love there, and we'll do something here later on for people overseas. But hey, go ahead and subscribe so you'll be a part of the next one. Whenever we're gonna, we'll be able to do something more for the people,
Absolutely, and we'll be leaving
abroad.
the all the ats, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Discord. Discord is growing right now, so we are.
Discord. How can they follow us on Discord, Dustin?
It will be in the description. I will make sure that on YouTube we get it put in the description to where it's just a click.
Yeah. You can also hit us up on Twitter at the show, and we'll give you all the show link or the Twitter handle after this, and then ask for it there. And then there's going to be opportunities. Discord is to ask us questions for your draft, ask us questions for start sit, for waiver wire moves, and we're going to be there and we're going to be commenting and pretty much 24/7 for the most part. Dustin's up late, so he can be the overnight guy, and we'll catch y'all up during the daytime too.
Absolutely.
Follow us, guys, on YouTube, of course. Hit that like button. Smash the like button.
Yep.
Smash the subscribe button so you can be a part of that first 50 that's eligible for the, whatever giveaway you want to pick.
Yeah.
And that's at Fantasy Football House on YouTube. On Instagram, we are fantasy_football_house. If you want to follow us there for some cool pics. On Twitter, at FF House Show. I'll repeat that again one more time. At FF House Show, and maybe Dustin can drop that in the description too, because you need to follow that, and you need to subscribe to YouTube, so that the way we're going to send the winner is going to be through Twitter. We're going to DM you and let you know, hey, you won. We're going to need your address. We're going to ship you something cool, pick from this, and then we'll send it to you. Guys, anything else before we head out? We're going to throw our Twitter handles here at the end, but how do we feel?
Feeling good, y'all. Hey, good luck on your drafts this weekend.
Good luck.
Absolutely. Good luck on the drafts. Remember, tier-based drafting. We cannot stress that enough. That's the easiest way not to freak out.
Yeah.
So
no freaking out.
Don't
Craig,
freak out.
What's your Twitter handle?
Don't drink and draft. No, that's not my Twitter handle. True Blue the Third. True Blue III.
mine is going to be Nice Guy Gaming 16.
And I am Playmakers with the 88. And guys, thank y'all for joining the house.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all for coming into our house.
The house that Rice built.
The house that Rice built. And guys, thank y'all for joining the Fantasy Football House. Y'all draft and be good, guys.
Peace out.
Have a good night.